Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, citizens of YouTube, Facebook. This is John. I posted up on the other day on Facebook a statement. And the statement was a reflection upon a question I asked. And I'm going to read the statement for you so that you can see. But the reason why I bring this up to your attention today is because the response I received for the statement was very troublesome. Troublesome in the fact that literally 4 or 5 months ago, I was in the same exact position, saying the same exact things. But you see, no one wants to hear that, because now that I'm here now, stating the stuff that I say now, people don't care that I was in the same exact position most of you are today. Nope, nobody wants to hear that. So as I'm hearing this statement, or rather the response to my statement, is troublesome because I understand how hard it is to wrap your mind to the truths I am bringing out. And they are truths. This is the exact reason why I leave links at the bottom. I give you multiple references so you can simply research this information yourself. I mean, I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm not like these pastors you see on, on TV. I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm giving you the scriptures. I'm giving you the sources for you to do your own research. Matter of fact, let me take this time out right now and say, you don't even have to listen to me. But do yourself the favor and verify whether the things I say is true. Anyway, let me go here and let me tell you let me actually state what I said on Facebook. I want you to pay real close attention. Alright? Even if you have to pause and rewind, but listen close. So here's what I said. I was at work today, and this was yesterday. I was at work today, and I asked a couple of people, why do you go to church on Sundays? And to a sad yet expected response, everyone I asked told me they don't know. It's amazing how people are willing to follow something or someone and do not even know why they are doing it. And what's worse, when you wish to shed insight as to the origin of Sunday worship, some people will literally ball into the fetal position to avoid hearing truth. Simply put, in their minds, ignorance is bliss. Here are the statements I wish to share. These statements aren't mine and even have the sources at the end of the statement. What's more shocking, these statements are made by people who practice, and what I should have said are people who came up with Sunday worship. Educate yourselves, my people, for we surely are dying for lack of knowledge. And then I continued on by posting the 3 statements that were not my statements, but statements that exist by the Catholic Church themselves. And the response, again, I don't even need to mention this particular individual's name, but I must read something that individual mentioned, because again, many people think this way till today. So in order to edify us all, I need to bring this topic into light so that you can understand what spirits we are dealing with. Because again, I named this video Discern the Spirits and the Socratic Method. Understand that. So I want you to understand that you can indeed discern these spirits that are present in our day and age. You can discern these spirits by asking certain questions according to the Socratic method. Alright? Hear me out. So I won't even read the whole response, but here's what this individual mentioned. Sometimes I wonder, bro, if you're a follower of the law or a follower of Christ. What does the Sabbath mean to you? And I'm going to stop right there. Again, I don't even need to go any further. Now, you must understand, again, if you need to pause and rewind, please do so. But check back, where in my statement did I even mention the word Sabbath day? Go ahead, go back there. Check it out for yourself. Because I did not mention the word Sabbath day not once in my statement. I mean, don't get me wrong. I brought into light that Sunday worship is pagan. I mean, I might have alluded to that fact, but I did not mention the word Sabbath. Now you got to ask yourself, why is this individual automatically jumping to the conclusion that I keep the Sabbath? And I'm going to tell you why. You see, I'm trying to help you discern these spirits. You see, because most people will say, oh, it's just a day. We can serve God every day of the week. Okay. And if so, by your own words, how come this individual didn't assume that I went to church on Monday? Why did that individual assume that I didn't go to church on Tuesday or any other day? Why did he specifically jump automatically to the Sabbath? And I'm going to tell you why. Because that individual is in transgression of the Sabbath. They are in transgression of the Sabbath. You see, most Christians, Catholics, whatever, most people today know they are transgressing the Sabbath. They just know. And in order to feel better about themselves, they need to preach, we're no longer under the law doctrine. They need to. They need to come up with theology and ideology and philosophy and every other E that exists in the dictionary. I mean, these people are out of their minds. So they will come up with whatever they need to justify their transgression. So this is the reason why automatically, why he mentions the Sabbath. They automatically jump to that, and just for the sake, I'm going to show you, because again, I'm trying to help you guys discern the spirit, because I made that video a while back called crab mentality and how people pull you down. So check what happens now. This individual goes on by stating Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday are all names derived from gods. These are man-made names, even Saturday. So in this individual's mind, he actually think that, I stuck it to him, because I said even Saturday is derived from gods, and check this out. And I'm gonna stop right here. I'm going to say that statement is 100% correct. Bravo for that statement. Every single day that we in America and many other people, we have taken the Greco-Roman pagan days, and they derive from pagan gods. 100% correct. But you see, in this individual's mind, he states even Saturday, as if that means something to me. You see, because nowhere in my teachings, nowhere in my videos or posts do I tell people go to church on Saturday. I don't even mention that the commandment states Saturday or any day. But what I do say is remember to keep the Sabbath day. There's a big difference. So this guy is in transgression of the Sabbath, and he is worshiping God on a pagan day. So what he would like to do is pull me down with him. You see, that's the crab mentality. You see, I'm helping you discern the spirits. So what that individual would like to do is pull me down with him and say, you're also serving on a pagan day. But there's nothing pagan about Sabbath. I mean, after all, God established the Sabbath day himself. You know, don't get me wrong. If I said go to church on Saturday, then this individual would be justified in his statement. But I am not telling you to go to church on Saturday. In fact, I'm not telling you to go to church on any one of these days. Because if you go to Genesis, you would know that there is no Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever day of the week. And in fact, the time does not even function, or rather, it doesn't start at 12 o'clock like most of you people think. And I know. Most of you guys, that just blew your mind. Am I right? Just go to Genesis 1. Do yourself that favor and go to Genesis 1 and see how God regards the day. Because after he finishes with a day, it states evening and morning was the first day. Evening and morning was the second day, etc. and etc. You see, so this is the reason why you will see that those who have come to the truth, they don't follow after these Greco-Roman pagan days. We follow after the days of God. Big difference. But you know, I'm gonna go on, because you have to understand. You see, when this person said, "Oh, I don't know if you're focusing," you know, let me read it word for word, because I don't want to, you know, I want to be completely truthful. He said, "Sometimes I wonder, bro, if you're a follower of the law or a follower of Christ." And this is a complete fallacy. I need you guys to understand. I need you guys to discern the spirit at work here. If you are a follower of the law, you see, and essentially what he is saying is that, hey man, you know, you're being legalistic. You know, you're practicing legalism. And you know, my older brother already established why legalism is already, you know, baloney, why that's a fallacy. So I don't even need to go any further with that. But I need you guys to understand, because, you know, allow me to digress for a minute. I'm only here to speak to those who actually know that the Bible has no contradictions. That the Bible, unlike other books, is perfect in nature. After all, it was inspired by God himself, who is perfect. So if you do not believe that you must stick to the word of God, this is not for you. You can just go out, you know, just leave right now, because this message is not for you. But I'm here for the people who actually understand or believe that the word of God is sure without any contradictions whatsoever. Because you have to understand, you know, contradictions is not of God. Because according to, and I'll read it for you, you know, according to 1 Corinthians 14 verse 33. Again, from our Bible, it states, "For God is not the author of confusion." And this is exactly what a contradiction is. It brings about confusion. I mean, you're going to read, what, I don't know, you're going to read about 3/4 of this book. I hope you can see that. I hope you can see that. I mean, look at where I divide. I mean, you're going to read 3/4 of this book that's called the Bible, that we all claim to, you know, claim to abide by. We're going to read 3/4 of it, and it's always, the message is always the same. Keep the commandments and you'll be blessed. Don't keep the commandments and you shall be cursed. And then the New Testament, as my brother showed you, I don't need to even go through these verses again. It states that if you keep the commandments, you will be blessed. That you will actually obtain eternal salvation by eating of the tree of life. Whoa. But yet you have these people reading a couple of verses, cherry picking what's convenient for them, and then they're going to justify why we shouldn't keep the law. You know what? I'm going to help you guys right now. I'm going to reveal the secret to you. You know, how to discern the spirits? And the answer is through the Socratic method. The Socratic method. I mean, if you ask the right questions, you will expose the spirits that are in effect right before your face, right before your eyes. I mean, you will literally see the spirit in these people, and that spirit is not of God. You will see it. Because again, if the Bible is without contradictions, it doesn't bring about confusion. And let's see what the Socratic method is. Socratic method, also known as method of Elenchus, Elenctic method, or Socratic debate, named after the classical Greek philosopher Socrates, is a form of inquiry and discussion between individuals based on asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and to illuminate ideas. It is a dialectical method often involving a discussion in which the defense of one point of view is questioned. One participant may lead another to contradict themselves in some way, thus strengthening the inquirer's own point. So the inquirer, the one asking the questions, like I did, I asked, why do you go to church on Sunday? And then you will see these people, the spirits, come up. Because now these people are going to go into their theologies. So you're going to ask these questions, and then people, what you're ultimately doing is asking the right questions so that people will contradict themselves. And if they contradict themselves, you just know they can't possibly be of God. They just can't. Because God is not the author of confusion. There's nothing he says that contradicts himself. For example, let me go. This is going to be a pretty lengthy, discussion. But if you're willing to put in the sacrifice for God, you will receive your reward. Let's go to Exodus 20. Because after all, I keep mentioning the commandments. But I really don't think people know what the commandments are. So I'm gonna make it real clear for these people today. Alright? And I won't read everything because I don't need to get into the nitty-gritty. But I do want to at least outline what the 10 commandments are. Alright? Here. So the first one being, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. That's 1. 2. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself, nor serve them. Okay, fine. Number 3. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Number 4. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Interesting. Number 5. Honor thy father and thy mother. 6. Thou shalt not kill. 7. Thou shalt not commit adultery. 8. Thou shalt not steal. 9. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And 10. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Okay. Now I needed to read all these commandments out for you because, I'm going to help you reason. And when you see me ask these series of questions, these spirits will literally be presented before you. So bear with me. I'll ask a guy or a girl, whatever, who claims to love God, even though Christ himself says, if you love me, keep my commandments. But I will ask an individual who claims to love God, who claims to love Jesus Christ, why you don't keep the commandments? Oh, we're no longer under the law. Okay, so that was first question. All right, fine, brother. So, will you kill somebody? Because we're no longer under the law? Oh, of course not. Christians don't kill. Okay, fine. Will you steal? Oh, of course not. Will you covet your neighbor's house? Of course not. Will you not honor thy father and mother? Oh, of course not. Do you see what I'm doing here? Will you take God's name in vain? Oh, of course not. Will you bow down to graven images? Oh, whoa, I can't do that. Long story short, I would name 9 commandments. And these people will agree with me 100%. Oh, of course we have to keep these things. That's what a Christian ought to do. But what's real funny, the moment I tell them, so how come you don't keep the Sabbath? Oh, whoa, that's legalism. Woo! So, isn't that amazing? And no one sees the contradiction here? So, again, if the contradiction is there, these people are not of God. So, they're willing to keep the 9 or 8 commandments, but when you ask them about the Sabbath, all of a sudden that's legalism? Oh, so it wasn't legalism when you said, I'm not going to kill. It wasn't legalism when you said, you're not going to steal. It wasn't legalism when you said, I'm not going to serve no other gods before me. But it's legalism now? It's legalism now? And you see, and please understand where I'm coming from. You see, because the spirit that's presented at that moment when this person states that term, legalism, the spirit behind these people is the spirit of hypocrisy. And hypocrites definitely will not enter the kingdom of the Most High. I guarantee you that. You see, I'm trying to help you know how to discern these spirits. What's worse, these individuals will say, oh, Christ made all those laws into 2. Oh, all right, fine. So let's actually go to what that brother is saying. Again, I'm going to read it for you. All right? All right, bear with me here. Matthew, let me see, 22:37. All right. So here's what it says. Oh, I'm sorry. Matthew 22:37. All right. And here's what it states. Again, I have my Bible. Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. Do you hear that? Okay, good. And by the way, Christ is not the first one to have said that. But that's for you to do your own research. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Now, hear me out here. Again, most people will say, oh, we don't follow the commandments of God any longer. We follow the commandments of Jesus Christ, which is also fallacy and also contradiction, because Jesus Christ say himself that his meat is to do the will of the Father. So if through God's will he established the 10 commandments, how can now Jesus Christ overrule or overthrow what God established? Contradictions. That, you see, all these doctrines, all your theologies is full of contradictions. They're full of just a bunch of holes. So what's amazing to me is that these people say, oh, we're following Christ's commandments now. Okay, so let's analyze it. Because isn't that funny that verse 40 says, on these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets? Did it say 8? Did it say 9? No, it said all the law. And so let's analyze that. Because if I love my neighbor, I won't kill from him, will I? If I love my neighbor, I won't steal from him, will I? If I love my neighbor, I won't covet my neighbor's house, will I? If I love my neighbor, I will honor my father and mother. Let's go to God now. If I love God, I shouldn't be serving any other gods before him. If I love God, I won't take his name in vain. If I love God, I shouldn't, bow down to graven images. If I love God, I should keep his holy day, I should keep the Sabbath day. I should remember to keep the Sabbath day holy. Oh, but no. I guess when it says all didn't all except the Sabbath. That's what Christ said, huh? I hope you noticing the sarcasm. All but the Sabbath. These man. Alright, I'm going to help you out here. Because this is the number one statement. Oh, we could worship on any day. It's just a day. Hear me out. It's just a day. So the day that you choose every single week at that exact hour, for weeks, for months, for years, you're dedicated to that one day of observance, and it's just a day? So hear me out. For these people who say, oh, why are you so fixated? Why you can worship on any day? You are completely right. A true believer of Christ ought to worship God every single day. Do you hear me? You ought to worship God every single day. But Sabbath is not concerning worship. It concerns with rest. I mean, just look it up. What the Sabbath means. It means rest. That's why you're not supposed to do any servile work. That's the reason why you shouldn't be lighting fires. But you know, one at a time. You see, so I'm trying to show you these people that say it's just a day. Ask them this question, and I guarantee you, you're going to see the spirit. You're going to see that wicked satanic spirit. Ask them this question. Okay, if it's just a day, how about for a whole year, you leave your congregation and you only worship, arbitrarily, you choose any other day but Sunday. Listen to their response now. And you know what they're going to say? I guarantee you. Leave? But my family goes to church on Sunday. My friends go to church on Sunday. My pastor goes to church on Sunday. I can't leave them. And stop right there. You see, because these people are letting you know. They're letting you know who they really serve. I mean, they can care less about God. They just want to be with their friends. They have such strong soul ties with these people that even entertaining the thought of leaving them to worship God on another day, because after all, it's just a day, you would never get any one of these people to do that. And then yet they will question me. Oh, do you follow the commandments or Christ? Let me just answer that. If you follow the commandments, you are following Christ. Because Christ himself said to follow the commandments. You know, when I was presented with the truth, I had to make the choice. I mean, for those of you who don't know, my father is a pastor. So I had to make of a Sunday church, a pastor of a Sunday church. And I had to make the choice. Do I leave him for the sake of God? Or do I bring down my spiritual development? Do I worship pagan gods just because I love my father? And don't get me wrong, I love him. That's my own flesh and blood. And you know what he had to say to me when I left? He called me a traitor. Now, it sounds like a normal word, but to have your own flesh and blood, your own father call you a traitor, imagine what I had to deal with, you know? How much friends and family members I left behind in my congregation. But I did it. Why? Because I love God. I love the Father, the Most High. Get one of these people to leave their congregation. I really would like to see this. Have these people leave their congregation. Oh no. God, it's just a day. God is not going to worry about that. He's not going to worry just because I don't go to church. You know, I'm going to finish off with this chapter. Matthew 10. And I'm going to start at verse 32. Alright? Here's what it states. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace but a sword. Now, this alone probably goes against what most of you people, oh, Christ is all about love. Christ is all about love. But yet, he's saying that he didn't come to send peace. He came to send a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And a man's foe shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And I'm going to stop here. You see, again, Christ is telling you himself, you know, if you want to follow him, leave your parents. I mean, if they're in error, of course. Leave them. Because these soul ties that you're so attached to, these people that you have such great bonds with, they are a yoke of bondage on your development. And you wonder why you're always sick. And you wonder why you're not prospering and there's no deliverance. And that you still can't understand the Bible after it being years in the church. Simply put, because you never actually searched the matters of God. No, what you chose to do was live vicariously through your pastor. I mean, your pastor told you something and you simply put on your lens. You just put on your lens and you accepted it as Bible truth. And you never question why. Because deep down inside, so long as you're with your family, so long as you're with your friends, so long as you get to, sing a couple of songs here and there, or play instruments a couple of here, or be an usher and pass, you think you're doing God's work, but we know what you're here for. You're only here so that you can be with your friends. You don't care about God. You would never entertain the thought of leaving your family. I did. I left my family. And what do I get for believing in God? What do I get for loving Christ and keeping His commandments? I'm a traitor. Discern these spirits, because we're living in very, very wicked times. Ask the right questions. The ones that really cut the soul. And you're going to see these spirits. You're going to see these spirits manifest themselves. For those that have an ear, let them hear. The Lion of the tribe of Judah is going to come back. Shalom.